everyone, and welcome to St. Luke TV. We are delighted that you are joining us. We hope that you are following us on YouTube and on Facebook as we are continuing with the story of Holy Week and Easter. And I'm Pastor Gene with Pastor William, and we're going to share some information with you that I hope will be helpful as we go into this Holy Week. Before we get into that, last Sunday we took up some collections for CUOC. William, how did that go?
Really well. We delivered about 336 pounds of food and probably what felt like over 1,000 grocery bags. So it was a great donation. They needed it, and they were low on help there at CUOC, and we want to be socially responsible and practicing social distancing. But if you want to make a phone call to CUOC, you can go help and sort food that comes in, and they are in need of help. So that opportunity is available for you. But again, we ask you to do that responsibly and safely for you and for your family.
We've also been busy with our confirmands this week. A little bit of a new way of doing things. We made a video that we sent out to them, and a final exam, which we know every one of them are working on with their mentors and parents. That was a long video, wasn't it, William?
Yeah, it was one of the longest ones we've done.
Yeah, about almost an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
But it was well worth it, and we certainly hope this will help our confirmands complete their journey as they are becoming disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world, and never giving up on this good news of this gospel we all know and love. We also have had several messages from our chair of finance. I know that people sometimes think that all we ever talk about is money. Well, if you've been watching our videos and worship services, you know we've not mentioned it at all. But I want to give a special word of appreciation to those who are helping us keep the lights on and keep the staff paid, and just doing the work that continues to be done. I can truly say that our staff is working harder than I've ever seen them. And Pastor William, I'm going to give a shout out especially to you over the Palm Passion Sunday video. That took a lot of work for you to edit. Some of your cast, I know I'm thinking of one in particular, probably could have been more appropriately dressed for the time. I think it was the one that appeared at the beginning and the end of the video, but I won't call any names. But anyway, we had a lot of fun making that, and all of the guys that did that really owe a word of appreciation to you. It takes a lot behind the scenes to make these things happen, and I just want to give a shout out to you, a word of appreciation, and thank you on behalf of all of us. So when y'all see William or talk to him, let him know he's appreciated for all this stuff he's doing, because it's not the normal thing that we do, and we wouldn't be able to get to you like we are were it not for his efforts. So thank you, William.
Sure.
We want to talk to you a little bit now about the podcasts that we have coming up. We're doing Disciple Bible Study. We've done a pilot. William, how can people get on the podcast, and how can people do this Disciple Fast Track Bible Study? What do they have to do?
Sure. So a couple different ways you can do it right now, and we're going to look to expand it to get to more platforms. Right now we're trying to do what I would call the two largest platforms, and that's one with a simple web page, and two on the Apple Podcast. So on your screen, right here at the bottom, you'll see two different ways that you can get to the podcast. You can do it on your iPhone via the Apple Podcast app. If you just simply search St. Luke UMC Podcast, it's a real original name. But you're going to spell St. Luke out. So it's going to be SaintLuke UMC. That's the part that's abbreviated, UMC podcast. And then you'll pop up. It's not going to be our logo right now. There are some outrageously strict requirements for artwork that goes on there, but our logo's coming. I've just got to figure out how to make it fit the size that Apple requires of us. So once that's up there, it'll be easier to recognize. Right now, I think it's a yellow and green kind of, I don't even know, I just know it's yellow and green. But it'll pop up, it'll say St. Luke UMC. There's only the pilot episode right now. You'll see our names there. So that's one way you can do it. Second way you can do it is you follow this, this link. And this link's going to come out in the info line. It was also emailed out, thanks to Laura, in the Acts email. So it wasn't in the Acts, but it was attached to that email, the link was. So you can follow that link. That's going to be going to the website where you can view all the podcasts. So there's two different ways. Now, I know that there are other phones and platforms that we can get podcasts to, and it's coming. I promise it's coming. I'm learning this kind of as I do it. So just give us a little bit of time and we'll begin to expand it. But no matter what device, phone, tablet, laptop, PC desktop, no matter what it is, you can always go to that website and find the podcast. It'll also be on our website. So you'll notice if you'll go to our main page on stlukeumc.org, you'll be able to see that we have some COVID-19 updates and that, worship is canceled and the office is closed, stuff that you know already. But you go down there at the bottom and you can watch us on YouTube, you can watch us on Facebook, you can listen to the podcast, and you can download the Acts. There's 4 called buttons on that homepage. If you'll go right there, it'll take you right to it. It's probably the fastest way to get there and the easiest way to get there. So if you'll just pay really close attention to our website, now especially, they'll be able to find it.
2 things to follow up on all of that. We appreciate Laura Alverson sending out these messages and these instructions on how to do these things. But you said something that made me think, William. This information, since this is a recorded episode of St. Luke TV, is it possible that information can be put at the bottom of the screen so that our viewers can see it?
Yeah, all the information that I just gave will be right there at the bottom of the screen, and I'll do it at the end too. There'll be a rolling screen at the end that'll highlight it again. So you have a chance to do it twice. You can hit pause. You can go back, see it if you missed it. And if all else fails, just call me. I'll walk you through it. If all else fails, just pick up the phone and I'll do my best to walk you through it. I've done that with a few people so far on things like Zoom and Google Hangouts and all these new ways that we're having to be able to engage with each other virtually. So I can walk you through it, and or I'll learn with you, and eventually just click the right buttons and everything works.
We've been making use of that, of Zoom and Google Hangouts to have meetings and make decisions. The work of the church is continuing, and I want to thank everybody for their participation in all of that. A couple of things about the preschool you need to know. First, on March 31st, our director, Kate Hollisey, that was her last day, and so I hope that everybody will reach out to Kate and share some love and appreciation. She did a fantastic job for us in many ways that I don't know, it's kind of behind the scenes sort of things, particularly here at the end of her time with us. And we are grateful, Kate, for your work among us. Also, be watching the St. Luke Preschool Facebook page, because tomorrow, I believe, Pastor Gene is going to come back and speak to the children in Children's Chapel. And so I hope all of our children will be, your parents of the preschool will go there and watch. And even if you're not involved in the preschool, go look and see what we typically do in a preschool chapel, only without the children. It's
right.
It's not the same, but at least we're going to continue to try to reach out to those kids and let them know that we love them and that God loves them and that St. Luke is also loving them. Let's turn now to the really big matters that we have for you in this video. And that is our Holy Week worship services. We've already mentioned the fact that on Palm Passion Sunday you saw the characters, the disciples who were there the last night that Jesus was alive. And as you can tell by the cross behind us, it is Palm Sunday when we're making this video, and we're trying to bring as much of the spirit of the season to you visually that we know how, and we're going to attempt to do that very same thing over the course of this week through the Maundy Thursday, Good Friday, Holy Saturday observances leading up to next Sunday morning when we have our Easter service at 9 o'clock. And of course, after that, if you like, I believe the bishop is doing a live service at 11 o'clock. So our service will be at 9. You can tune in and watch us here, and then you can watch the whole annual conference Easter observance at 11, and hopefully you'll do both of those things. But let's talk now for just a few moments about Maundy Thursday. One of the things that I would really, and I've got a lot of notes here, normally I can do this, but I don't want to leave anything out. And Pastor William, are these kinds of things we can put up at the bottom of the screen so that they will see them? Mm-hmm. What we're asking you to do is to make a worship space in your home. And this week, for these worship spaces, you're going to need certain things for the services that we're going to do. So let me go over what those things are with you right now. Obviously, you're going to need a Bible. And for Maundy Thursday, we'd like you to open that Bible to the 13th chapter of John, because that's the story of the last night of Jesus' life here on earth. We'd like you to have a cross. It doesn't have to be an ornate cross. It could be one of these old palm crosses that you might have in a drawer somewhere from a previous service here at St. Luke. It could be a drawing of a cross. Just have a cross nearby so that you can focus on that. A dark cloth will be very important. It doesn't have to be black. It can be navy blue, but a dark, something that symbolizes something dark. You'll need a candle. One candle is all you'll need. A bowl of water. That will be very important. A hand towel. A bar of soap. And you'll understand why that bar of soap is important when you hear the message that evening. Some bread. This could be a loaf bread. You can break it up or cut it up into a piece for everybody that's going to be with you that evening for this service. And then a glass of water for everyone present. We're going to do something called the Traditional Methodist Love Feast. Now, this is different from the Moravian Love Feast that we do at Christmas, but we're going to do a Traditional Methodist Love Feast, and I will explain that to you on Thursday night. In the meantime, I want you to be reflecting on how you love God and how you love one another, and that will make that a very special time for you on that night. We're going to be offering you all kinds of opportunities in the Maundy Thursday worship to do prayer, Bible reflection, the reflection on the message, and of course, the things that are going to be different. Pastor William will be explaining to you a little bit about foot washing, and the fact that we're not doing it, we're still going to explain the significance of it. And of course, I'll explain to you the love feast, and then of course the whole notion of how the church goes from Maundy Thursday to Good Friday into Holy Saturday. That will conclude what we do for Maundy Thursday. Thoughts or comments, Pastor Williams?
No, so don't worry about having to, the things that Gene just laid out of what you're going to need, we're going to have that in the video Thursday night when we release it. So it'll open up with a black screen with some words that'll just say, these are the things that you're going to need, and don't worry about what you do with them, just have them there, and we'll walk you through how we're going to use them as we get through the service. But don't have to remember it right now. You'll see it again Thursday night when we get to Maundy Thursday. And maybe, when you think about creating a worship space, at a time, especially on Maundy Thursday, maybe around your dining room table or your kitchen table might be the best spot, as we, that's the night where we, as Gene mentioned, the foot washing and the institution of the Last Supper. So being around a table with those in your home may be a really good space for you to create that worship service. We don't want you to congregate with other families. Stay socially isolated.
Yes. Yes.
This is people inside your home, but that could be a space that you could use.
And I think that will make this service even more meaningful for you to do that in that way. We'll move then into Good Friday. And before I go into that, the good part about these being recorded services is you can hit pause and then come back to the worship service, which will be very, very important at a particular point on Thursday evening. So we'll tell you when to be sure to pause and then give your family time to reflect around the question that will be asked on Thursday night, and then come back for the finish. There'll be a little bit more to the video, so please don't cut us off then. Be ready to keep going just a little bit further. Now on Good Friday, this is sad because Good Friday has always been a day that the confirmands have played a huge role in the service. And of course, with the situation we're facing right now, they won't be able to do that. But you're going to need some things for Good Friday's worship service. You'll need a Bible, and you open that. That'll need to be open to John chapter 18. You will need a candle that is lit, and it will be white. Of course, you'll need a lighter, and then you'll still have your cross from the night before, and your dark covering will be over that, and also your bowl of water. And we will explain a little bit of that when we get to Good Friday. Since you've seen the disciples speaking this time, we're going to do a little bit different kind of Tenebrae service. We're going to focus on, instead of having 12 candles, we're going to have 7. And those 7 candles are going to focus on the various themes that are associated with Good Friday. And we hope that this is the first time we've done this, and it will be, we're hoping it will be a great blessing for you as we prepare to move into Holy Saturday. Any thoughts on Good Friday, Pastor William?
No, again, we'll have everything that you need at the opening to the video, and you can go with us, and you can pause if you want to pause or if you need to pause. So you'll be able to be user-friendly as possible.
Now, as for Holy Saturday, Good Friday and Maundy Thursday services, 7 o'clock both nights. That's when we'll go on. 7 o'clock, Maundy Thursday, 7 o'clock Good Friday. We hope you'll join us.
And I'll speak a little bit to how that's going to go out. Okay, so at 7 o'clock, you're going to get a message on the info line with a link. That link will take you right to the video. That's option 1. Option 2 is there's going to be a message that'll go out on Facebook at 7 o'clock. With another link that takes you to the YouTube video. Option 3, if you go to our YouTube page and you subscribe and you get your notifications turned on, as soon as that video goes live 7 o'clock Thursday and Friday night, you'll be notified. You can go right to the app on your phone or on your computer, or your iPad, whatever the case may be. And then I'll take it a step further. If you're in a space and your home has a smart TV or an Apple TV or a Roku device, if you have a way that you can stream what's on your phone onto your larger living room TV, this is one of those times where I hope you're doing it now, but especially moving forward as we continue with these virtual worship services, to put it on the big screen in your home. It's again, if you want help through that, just pick up the phone and call me. You can look on YouTube videos that'll show you how to do it, but we do invite you to stream it to a larger screen, so that whether you're sitting around a dining room table, your living room, wherever you are in your home, it's a little bit larger, everybody can see it, and we can all be engaged in that way.
Does it work? Yes, I know it works, because on Palm Passion Sunday morning, I had to call Pastor William and get help myself. So I know that it works. If you'll just let us help you, we'll be delighted to do that. Let's talk a little bit about Holy Saturday now. This is going to be a little bit more than what we've done in the past. You will need an unlit candle, the same one from Friday. You will need a lighter. You will need a closed Bible. And you will need a bowl of water. Pastor William and I, on Saturday are going to go through the 7 last words of Jesus on the cross, and then a brief message, and then we will be saying words to prepare us for the Easter service. And that will be what you need for Holy Saturday. And then, of course, we will be back. We're going to be live on Easter Sunday morning.
We are. We'll be live.
Live on Easter Sunday morning, and you will definitely get some instructions about that. I can tell you right now that you will need a bowl of water. You will need some bread cut up like we showed you for Thursday, and you'll need some water for that. But we're going to do an act of spiritual communion. The Church of England has put out a liturgy that since we can't be together around the table for Holy Communion, as it is one of our sacraments, we have found another way that I hope is going to be a blessing. And I want all of you to stop and think for just a moment how wonderful it is going to be when we do get back together and we are able to be at the table, and when we are able to see one another's faces again. We've been making, the clergy have been making lots of phone calls. If I haven't gotten through to you yet, it's because your voicemail is not set up, your voicemail is full, you have changed your number, or I just haven't gotten down the list to you yet. But I'm going to call, I promise. So we're trying to reach as many people as we can and stay in touch and stay connected. Pastor William, any closing thoughts for this session of St. Luke TV?
No, so for Easter Sunday, we're going to go live on 2 platforms. So in the past, we've done one on Facebook Live. We've done one on YouTube Live, where we've taken you to a link off Facebook to get to YouTube. We're going to operate 2 different devices to record the same time right next to each other, one on Facebook, one on YouTube. So we'll be live on both channels, so you can tune in to us on Sunday morning.
So on behalf of all of us who are doing all we can to stay connected with you here at St. Luke, and out of grateful hearts for the things that you are doing to help keep us going, that we appreciate so very much, we want to say Godspeed to each and every one of you. Practice safe and healthy practices that will avoid the virus in this unprecedented season. Love God and love one another. So on behalf of Pastor William and I, we'll see you next time.